Emily Carter's world had come to a sudden, unbearable halt the day her daughter Lily couldn't take a single step. One morning she had tried to run across the living room to hug her father, but her tiny legs refused to obey. Panic gripped her chest as she watched Lily collapse onto the floor, her little hands scrabbling helplessly for support. Emily's heart thumped in her throat. Something was very wrong. Doctors had tried, hospitals had tested, and billion-dollar medical technologies had failed to provide answers. Yet, amidst the despair, hope arrived in the most unexpected form, a single father who refused to surrender to impossibility. James Thompson had been a single dad for 3 years, after losing his wife to a sudden illness. He had raised his 2 children, Lily and her older brother Max, with unwavering determination. James worked long hours as a software engineer, but nothing in his career had prepared him for the challenge he now faced. When doctors told him Lily might never walk again, the words felt like a knife to his soul. He refused to believe them. He refused to accept a life where his little girl would be confined to a wheelchair while the world passed her by. James spent countless nights researching medical journals, watching physical therapy videos, and speaking to specialists worldwide. Yet each expert either offered bleak predictions or complicated treatments that came with expensive, unattainable price tags. One evening, as he sat by Lily's bed, tracing circles on her tiny hand, he whispered, "I don't care what it takes, sweetheart. I will find a way to help you walk again, even if the whole world says it's impossible." Emily watched him that night with tears in her eyes, torn between fear and admiration. She had seen countless parents crumble under the weight of despair, but James' determination was unyielding. "You're doing too much," she whispered. "Maybe we just have to accept it." But James shook his head firmly, eyes blazing with quiet fire. "No, Emily, she's my daughter, and I'm not giving up." The breakthrough came in the most unlikely form, a small community physical therapy clinic in their town, run by a retired therapist named Helen. Unlike the sterile, high-tech hospitals and billionaire doctors, Helen believed in the power of simple, consistent effort combined with emotional encouragement. She didn't promise miracles. Instead, she promised persistence, patience, and a plan. James committed to Helen's regimen with absolute devotion. Every morning before work, he guided Lily through gentle stretches. Every evening, he spent hours encouraging her to take tiny steps with support, celebrating every wobble, every shaky balance. When Lily cried in frustration, James didn't scold or pity her. He knelt beside her, whispered words of encouragement, and reminded her that every step, no matter how small, was progress. Emily began to notice subtle changes. Lily started to bear weight on her legs for a few seconds longer each day. Her balance improved, her confidence grew. But the real magic wasn't in the exercises. It was in the bond that strengthened between father and daughter. James' unwavering belief in Lily gave her the courage to try again and again. Then came the day no one expected. After months of rigorous, consistent effort, Lily stood independently for the first time. Emily, who had been sitting on the couch with bated breath, screamed and clutched her hands over her mouth. Tears streamed down her face as Lily took her first tentative steps toward James, who held out his arms with pride and joy. "That's it, Lily! You can do it!" he cheered. Lily stumbled, wobbled, and then fell into his embrace, laughing with exhilaration. It wasn't just a physical victory. It was an emotional triumph that left the entire family transformed. Emily fell to her knees beside them, hugging both father and daughter, sobbing with relief and overwhelming gratitude. The tears she shed weren't just for the moment. It was for every despairing night, every sleepless worry, every prayer that had felt unanswered. In that instant she realized something profound. Love, patience, and unwavering faith can achieve what money and technology sometimes cannot. Word of Lily's miraculous recovery spread throughout the community. Neighbors who had once doubted, friends who had once pitied, and even some of the skeptical doctors who had given up on her were astonished. But James didn't see it as a miracle. It was the result of relentless effort, tireless devotion, and refusing to surrender to the impossible. Lily's progress didn't stop there. Every day she grew stronger, more confident, and more independent. Within months, she was running, playing, and laughing like any other child her age, and every time she fell, she remembered her father's words, "Try again, it'll be here, always." Emily marveled at how one person's belief could literally change a child's destiny. Looking back, Emily often reflected on the contrast between the cold, clinical pronouncements of expensive doctors and the warmth, dedication, and perseverance of her husband. The billionaire doctors had access to all the technology and funding one could imagine, but it was James' heart, his relentless devotion, and his refusal to accept defeat that truly healed Lily. It was a lesson Emily would carry with her forever. No amount of money or expertise could replace love and determination. One evening, as the family sat together in their small living room, Lily toddled over to her mother, hugged her tightly, and said, "Mommy, I can walk now. Daddy helped me." Emily couldn't speak, only let her tears fall freely. James knelt beside her, holding her hand, smiling softly. The room was quiet, but the silence was filled with unspoken gratitude, unshakable love, and the joy of triumph over despair. In the months that followed, James continued to nurture Lily's growth, always encouraging, never pushing too hard. Emily joined him in the exercises, bonding with her daughter in ways that were previously unimaginable. Their home became a sanctuary of hope, resilience, and love. They had faced the darkest moments together, and together they had emerged victorious. The story of Lily and James is more than just a tale of a child learning to walk. It's a testament to the extraordinary power of a parent's love. It's proof that no matter how dire the circumstances, no matter how impossible the odds, determination, patience, and emotional support can achieve what even the most advanced science sometimes cannot. Emily often tells Lily, "Your father believed in you when no one else did, and look at you now, you're unstoppable." James, in his quiet, humble way, always responds, "She always had it in her. I just helped her see it." And that, perhaps, is the most inspiring lesson of all, the power of belief, persistence, and unwavering love can achieve miracles that even the richest doctors cannot. For Lily, it was walking. For James and Emily, it was witnessing the impossible made real. And for anyone who hears their story, it is a reminder that hope, devotion, and love are the greatest healers of all.